A bird's eye view of the Bluegrass State. You see the band is playing Eastern Kentucky, taking the short trip down the road, about 40 minutes to Lexington to take on the Wildcats. They call this the Catwalk. And look at this, they call him the Cat Daddy. Mark Stoops is ready to go, and so is his squad. And how about this though? Former assistant Walt Wells back in Lexington, meeting up with longtime friend Mark Stoops, his former head coach. We'll call them frenemies today. Pete Souza alongside the two-time Pro Bowler Takeo Spikes. Game 2 partner is about fine-tuning rhythm and finding an identity. We talked to the Wildcat coaches yesterday. They know who this team is.
Yeah, they do. They know who this team is, but they want to be able to develop an identity. Mentally and physically tough. That's what they want to display. Last week, they didn't quite display the mental side. They showed flashes of the physical side. But look, bottom line is this. What they're looking for can't be developed within a 1 or 2 week time period. That's why the point of emphasis this week in practice was, let's do the little things right, and then that would translate over with consistency with them being a tough football team.
Well, they did a lot right last week. Some of the weapons that did the damage, we'll see them right here. It started with this guy, Devin Leary. They want him, speaking of rhythm, to be able to get it going in the first half too. Finished on a run with 241 yards, but getting him going early will be a huge help. Ray Davis didn't take him long to get the engine revved up last week. The Commodore transfer coming over from Vanderbilt. Big game, and how about this guy? Big-time explosion. Barion Brown bringing the kickoff back 99 yards. The second season in a row. He has opened the season with a kickoff return for a touchdown. But hey, there's a weapon on the other side of the field. It's about a howitzer, Parker McKinney.
He is the lifeline of what they do, make no mistake about it. Holds all of the quarterback records at Eastern. Hopefully today for him, his guys want to be able to make sure that they have success, that they can make some plays down the field. Let's see what he does.
Kroger Field is rocking. Kentucky will receive the opening kick. You see back deep, Barion Brown and Tayvion Robinson. These guys are charged up, these fans here today.
They are. They are. Everybody's charged up. You saw Cat Daddy walking down the catwalk. Fans were fired up. He was fired up. Let's see what the Wildcats bring.
We are running from Lexington. Short kick will go to Robinson. They did not want to get it to Brown. Robinson has some room. Stop short of the 30-yard line. So we'll start things off with the North Carolina State transfer. Precision passer, Devin Leary, 6'1", 217. He is a winner, missed pretty much all of last season with an injury. We're looking forward to seeing him today kind of crank it up. Last week, shaking off the rust a little.
Yeah, shaking off the rust a little bit. Hasn't played since October of last year, but make no mistake about it, he understands what's asked of him. I felt like he rushed a lot last week trying to get into a rhythm, but now is the time for him to show his true talents.
On display here early. Brown thrown down at the line of scrimmage.
Kentucky's coming out like they started the game last week, throwing, getting Leary more comfortable in the pocket, easy pitch and catch on the outside, out route, the cornerback is playing off. That's easy, something easy to keep the momentum going, get him inside of a rhythm.
And there is offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, back in Lexington, spent a year in the NFL with the LA Rams. Cohen plays again under Stoops. Another quick pass, Dane Key thrown out of bounds, short gain again.
And it seems to me if they continue to do this, cornerbacks playing off, that's easy pitch and catch. Throw it out there, get positive yards.
Tempo for the Wildcats, movement before the snap. Here's our referee, Ken Williamson.
False start, offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
Cox jumped, the left tackle. One of the leaders in that offensive line room and one of the leaders on the team.
Yeah, and that's what they can't have. The left side of the offensive line is all new. 3rd and 1 before that play, it's important. They got to be able to cash in, and that's part of being mentally tough.
They bring up 3rd and 6. Critical 3rd down early. High snap, Leary pulls it down. Throws a dart, it is juggled and dropped by Key under duress. 3 and out for the Colonels.
Dane Key comes and run an inside route. Great coverage by the defensive back. He just stayed in that hip pocket, and it was almost as if the throw wasn't necessarily in front enough, but they got off on 3rd down.
Yeah, that was Frankie West Jr. in coverage. Missed the last game, the transfer from Illinois State. Coach Wells says, we're going to need him back. Quickly productive. And the kick is blocked. The Colonels showing up on special teams early. They dive for it on the field. Kentucky recovers, but Eastern Kentucky will have the ball at the 30-yard line.
Wow. Just bad protection. Didn't get the block up front. Leakage. We came into this game and we talked about Kentucky wanting to be that team that's physically and mentally tough. This is not the start. Blocker's right there. Doesn't even get a hand on him.
Cornelius Evans came barnstorming.
Linebacker Cornelius Evans with the block.
So how about this? Parker McKinney. Another flag is down. Cornelius Evans, a sophomore
False start.
from Orangeburg, South Carolina, making what is easily the biggest play of the year so far for Eastern Kentucky. Well, here's the guy you called the lifeline, and when you said that, you had my attention. If Eastern Kentucky is going to win this game, it's going to be because of this guy. He's already rewritten the record books at Eastern Kentucky, but can he play today on the road at a Power 5?
Well, he definitely has a good start. Starting on the plus side, let's see what he does with it.
Infraction on the Colonels. We'll back him up. Right up the middle. Stacked up as Braden Sloan. So now here you are. You have been in our lives for about 20 years as a standout in the SEC at Auburn, 15 years in the NFL. When your team backs you up like this and you're at home and you're expecting an advantage, take us into the defensive mindset.
Oh, you got to control sudden change right here. Defensively, you don't care where they get the ball. At the minimum, you only want to allow 3 points from the field goal, no touchdowns.
McKinney swings it out to the right side. Hensley, his first catch of the day.
Very good pass by McKinney. He saw the out route, and the defensive back actually broke on it pretty well. But that's what McKinney does well, ball placement. He has very good touch on the ball. And that's why his teammates love him. He puts them in positions to be able to have positive plays.
3rd and 6. Kentucky defensive coordinator Brad White said the Colonels will push the ball down the field. Not here. Sloan, short pitch and catch. First down. 11-yard gain.
Kentucky did a good job on the back end, taking away everything. Understand the route recognition. You see the linebackers, but it looks like Trevin Wallace got a little too nosy on the right side. It allowed the running back to come out of the backfield, Braden Sloan, to be able to pick up the first down.
And there's defensive coordinator Brad White. We just saw him on his heels early. Sloan finds daylight. Falling forward.
One thing about the defensive backs of Kentucky, they will insert themselves inside of that box. Zion Childress, He flashed a lot last week, coming in, making plays inside of their box, and that's what they need in order to stop the run. But they are very good on the pass side as well.
2nd and 8, potential passing down for McKinney. Smith in motion. Play fake. Here comes the pressure. Has to throw it away. Octavius Oxendine was bearing down.
Now we talk about the big blue wall of the offensive line, but something needs to be said about this defensive line. Octavius Oxendine, he has been a man-child, especially last week, being able to defeat the tackle, get upfield, cause pressure, flush the pocket, throw it away from the quarterback. That's a good rep for those guys.
6th play of the game. They've only gone 14 yards. McKinney can throw on the run. Will have to do it now. No, he won't. He'll tuck it and score. 14-yard touchdown. Not what we expected so far.
Talk about traveling down the road 40 minutes, and on your first drive you get a touchdown. Brad White, he does not like it, defensive coordinator from Kentucky. Good solid start for Eastern.
A hush over the crowd in Lexington at Kroger Field. The Wildcats, of course, a heavy favorite. Down early, 7-0. Big block punt on special teams. Turns the keys over to this guy, the 6th-year senior. No problem. (7-0) Eastern Kentucky early. There is Parker McKinney. All kinds of savvy. That's how he was described to us by Coach Mark Stoops of Kentucky. And we saw a savvy guy there scamper 14 yards for a touchdown. His team now with a surprising advantage early on. Patrick Nations. Another short kick. They're trying to keep the ball away from Barion Brown. So far, that's been a success.
Going back to the block, you got guys right there in front. You don't do anything to stop the rush, and it led to the touchdown on the back end. They played pretty good coverage, but the rushing lanes were not there by the defensive line. Caved down on the outside. Parker McKinney saw that, and that allowed him to be able to run for the touchdown. Look, that's one of his best assets, being able to scramble and get out of trouble. So let's see what Brad White does now from here on out.
And let's see what Devin Leary does now. He'll hand it to Ray Davis. Finding daylight on the edge. Across the 40 for a first down. We've got a flag. Finally hammered to the turf by Nick Cheeley, but not before he gains 21.
This definitely looks like a holding, at least for one of the flags.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Early spot. Big first down.
And there's Josh Cadis, the offender.
And I was thinking before this drive even started, when are we going to see Ray Davis? They started the game out last week the same way with a few passes, but I think Ray Davis is instrumental into what they want to become identity-wise. We saw his talents being able to break the long run, but let's see what they do moving forward now.
14 carries and 112 last week in the opener against Ball State to go with 2 touchdowns. They'll travel to the air, and Brown, who can be dynamic, wasn't given much of a chance there.
Now you have an Eastern Kentucky team. They believe, not saying that they did before, but they believe Deontay Bembry coming up, keeping the explosive plays to a minimum. And now it's important for Kentucky. Hey, we got to get positive yardage. We don't have a 2nd and 19 play, but at least find something to cut it in half to make it 3rd down and manageable for the next play.
2nd and 19. Wide open is Brown. In space, he's trouble trying to find some and can't. 20-yard gain.
Well, I guess they do have a play for a 2nd and 19. Barion Brown, and it's called speed. Bottom line is this: when you have a receiver who is as fast as Barion, defensive backs are gonna stay off, and that's exactly what they saw. He just ran a deep out just then, and it converted over for the 1st down.
And you give credit to Frankie West Jr. keeping Brown in front of him. Last week, that was a problem against Cincinnati. That's one of the reasons they got down so early. They were torched on long and short throws. 1st and 10. First down of the game for Kentucky. Leary unloads! Just out of the reach. He was looking for the freshman, Anthony Brown-Stevens.
Anthony Brown-Stevens is one of those receivers. They definitely want to get involved more in the passing game. They went for the home run. A little pulling on the jersey, but it wasn't enough for the ref to say, you know what, I need to throw a flag here. Let him play.
Mike Smith in coverage. He likes contact. Just enough there. Another 2nd and long for the Wildcats. Davis with that vision. Into Colonel territory. 13-yard gain.
Now we see Ray Davis. Great blocking up front by the offensive line. I really like 69. Marcus Cox was able to turn his defender inside it, allowed the lane for Ray Davis to keep pressing the hole. 1,000-yard rusher last year. And he's a special back. Out of the last 5 games, he's been averaging 7 yards per carry. That's right, 7 yards per carry.
Trips to the top of your screen. The North Carolina State transfer. Hands to Davis. Running downhill again before he's stacked up. Kyle Kelly led the charge.
Easton did a good job of just maintaining their leverage on the line of scrimmage. And that's what you have to do against Ray Davis. You have to show color in every gap in order to make him stutter his feet. Because if you do not, he has the ability to make it a home run play.
Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. Quick throw from Leary. Another nice tackle. Running back Jaton McClain into the game with the catch. But once again, we're seeing great play from this Colonel defensive backfield.
Yeah, and you can tell we're not going to give you anything deep right off top. That time they allowed with 3 defensive linemen, had 8 people in coverage, sent 1 guy on a late rush to add to the rush of the 3 defensive linemen. But look, Devin Leary doing a good job. He understands. Let me find the open guy, get it to my weapons, and let them be great at what they do.
Leary 5 for 7 early on with 33 yards. Ray Davis back in the football game. Leary, nice catch by the freshman Brown-Stevens, climbs the ladder and comes down with it, 6-yard gain.
This is what you call making a play for your quarterback. Devin Leary saw the blitz coming right down the pipe. He saw the inside cross dog that you see right there. Got it up high. Brown-Stevens making an excellent catch above the head. Keeps the chain moving. This is what they wanted to do last week. Continue to move the ball on 3rd down.
Wildcats struggled staying on the field and converting on 3rd down. Defense gave up a lot of 3rd down conversions, trying to flip that today. Davis. Wrapped up quickly. 2nd and 9 coming up. The Wildcats' tempo, they are slow, they are deliberate. Can that lull a defense to sleep sometimes?
I think it gives the defense more time, especially with them having some type of success, meaning Eastern. So I think it's more so about Kentucky getting into rhythm.
Can they find it here? Too high, intended for Key, almost disaster.
Devin Leary looking for Dane Key. They played off coverage on him, and they made the right read was there, but the pass was a little high, incomplete. And now look, Liam Cohen, he's the mastermind behind all of the talent on the field, trying to make sure his quarterback understands what every call means, understanding down and distance, because it's important now. It's 3rd and 9.
10th play of the drive. Leary throws a dart. Once again, Key can't hang on to it, right through his hands.
He made the right read. Eastern elected to play coverage. Dane Key just couldn't bring it in.
Logan Blake bearing down. Brings up 4th and 9. So far, we will not see the field goal unit. And the crowd, almost a little indecisive. Now they say, okay, we're going to go for it. Let's get behind our Wildcats. 3rd in the SEC last season on 4th down. What can they do today? Leary can't do a thing. Thrown to the turf. Big play by Albert Nunez.
Wow.
Can't get off the schneid on 4th down. Albert Nunez says no way. Colonel's ball when we come back. Well, if there's a guy in America who has been through it, you are looking at him. 54 weeks ago, comes back from the dead basically after a heart attack. Lost his brother about 66 days ago to cancer, and he has strong ties to Kentucky. We just saw him as an assistant on Mark Stoops' staff just 2 years ago. Has to like what he sees so far from his team. Once again, I think we've heard too much already. Not that we have anything against it from our referee, Ken Williamson.
Defense number 13, the movement by the defense caused the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, make it 1st down.
J.J. Weaver a little anxious right there, and I get it. You're trying to make a play. Things are not going as well as you want them to. Defensively, you want to be the guy, but you got to be disciplined. Now you're in a position. This is a home run shot opportunity, 1st and 5 for Eastern right now.
McKinney, so far like a surgeon, finds Carter in the backfield. 1st down, Colonels, 9-yard gain.
McKinney understands the big picture. He saw man-to-man. He saw the safety coming down to cover the running back. He knew that was an opportunity to at least get 5 yards. Now it's 1st and 10 all over again. He's playing well. He understands what it means to be in the moment right now, Pete.
Coach Wells told us this week, Parker McKinney, when he drops back, some quarterbacks see uniforms and color. He sees everything. Joshua Carter, short game, coming over to make the play. Deion Weaver. Check that, Deion Walker. There is the big fella.
Yeah, Deion Walker. Look, he's a guy, once he diagnoses and see where the ball is going, I don't know any offensive lineman in America that will be able to block him. He is that good. But now is the time for him to be able to make a play, to be able to get this team off the field.
Carter thrown down behind the line of scrimmage. Not much he could do there. Trevon Ripka
Trevon Bricker, he's just coming down the line of scrimmage playing ball. You see his offensive tackle goes down for the block. You're taught, stay in his hip pocket. Good things will happen. He got a tackle for a loss.
Not available for last week's game, so this is his first action of the season. Coach Walt Wells says, I'm looking forward to seeing this guy. I recruited him. Maybe not so much right now. 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. McKinney steps out of it. Only so much he can do. Walker again.
Brad White said, I have enough of this. I'm going to send both of my inside backers. Flush him out of the pocket, McKinney. Deion Walker is there, coming down the line of scrimmage, retracing to be able to make the play, get his team off the field.
How big was that stop?
That was huge. Huge stop for them. 3rd down, they struggled consistently last week, gave up over 50% last week. So this is good for them.
Edwards back deep in punt formation. Robinson calls for the fair catch. So the Wildcats will get another crack at it when we come back. 7-0 Colonels. We were lucky enough to share time with Lee and Cohen yesterday. And Cohen told us family was one of the reasons he came back to Kentucky, but football as well. It was the ultimate recipe. He's calling plays again. You saw he was with the Rams last year. Look at that journey. Rams, Kentucky, back with the Rams. Now he's back in Lexington, and he's calling the plays, and you could tell by talking to him that was a big reason he came back. And he's got his work cut out for him right now.
Yeah, and it's all about impact. And he wants to be able to measure the impact. Not only does he have on the game, but for the kids. And he felt like his presence was needed here most.
Play fake to McLean.
Pass complete. Leary.
Sumo Kongbe with the catch.
Yeah, we know about Demi Sumo Kongbe. Swiss Army knife is the way that they utilize him because of his versatility. And that was a good play to kind of get started off. You want to advance the ball easy. Let's get 6 yards on 1st down. That's just as good as a 6-yard run. Now it's not a lot of pressure on 2nd down opportunities, which is right here.
2nd and 4 for the Wildcats. McLean on the carry, finding his way to space. Over the 25-yard line, a jarring hit. Lucky for him and the Wildcats, it bounces right back into his hands.
To Tom McLean, he outruns the defense, puts a nice move, but you got to be able to hold on to the ball even when you think you're past pursuit because guys are coming. And look at the leadership of Logan Blake, the linebacker. Great punch. He's the leader of this defense. Relentless, has a motor, and will not stop until he gets the job done.
Weird vibe here at Kroger Field, and for good reason. Plays like that, big time play. Behind the backfield, McLean is brought down, and Wildcats unable to capitalize on momentum. Darius Sterling making the play. Not exactly what we expected. So far, sure, the Wildcats took the field. Not necessarily smoke and mirrors, but it has been all Eastern Kentucky so far. Big-time special teams, big-time quarterback. 2nd quarter coming up. Well, while you were away, we were chatting about just the funky vibe here in the stadium, and for very good reason. The crowd shell-shocked here in Lexington. Eastern Kentucky 7-0. Parker McKinney, a 14-yard touchdown after a blocked punt on Kentucky's first possession, Takeo.
I tell you what, Eastern Kentucky is not afraid, and they're coming into this game looking like they expect to win.
Logan Blake expected to make a play there, and he did. Nowhere to go for McLean.
I'm starting to like this guy, Logan Blake. They come with the blitz with the other linebacker, and Logan Blake reads and reacts, meets the running back in the hole, face mask to face mask, and that's a perfect tackle. Logan Blake, I see you right now.
Like a young Takeo Spikes all over the field, the NAIA transfer. NAIA, excuse me. 3rd and 9. Big play for the Wildcats. Leary, short pass, safety valve. McLean stopped short. 1 of 4 on 3rd down so far for the Wildcats. That was a point of emphasis for them.
Yeah, that was a point of emphasis on the offensive side. The lack of not being able to get into rhythm, and you see Devin Leary going over to Liam Cohen. They got to get this fixed because it's going to be a tough day. You're 1 of 4 on 3rd downs already, just starting the 2nd quarter. They need to figure some things out, getting the ball downfield, getting it to the playmakers so they can keep the chains moving.
The junior Jaden Smith from Atlanta, Georgia. Back deep, drifting all the way back to the 12-yard line. Fair catch called for, 55-yard punt. Wilson Berry showing out. So now you're Parker McKinney. You got a 7-0 lead. You got to be feeling good, Takeo, as you move forward here into the 2nd quarter. Look, 3 for 4, but the rush is just as big.
Yeah, and I don't know if your defensive coordinator, Brad White, 3 for 4 on the rush is 26 yards. Look, you may have to implement a spy just to make sure that he stays inside of the pocket and doesn't kill you with his feet. Big drive for Kentucky defense right here. It's all about field position.
Braden Sloan is the running back. Slicing through the defense to the secondary. Very close to a 1st down. We'll call it 9-10 yards. Just shy of that marker.
The offensive line for Eastern, it looks like they're trying to speed up the tempo right now. Isaiah Bunn, right guard, he did a great job getting up to the next level to be able to get these creases so the running back can be able to get through.
Boy, does McKinney look comfortable. So does Sloan, close to a 1st down, but that could be the break that the Wildcats needed. The crowd loves it. And a big turnover. First one of the day. There is Keyshawn Silver. He applied the hit. Alex Safari scooped it up.
That's the type of play that Kentucky needed. Looks like Trevor Wallace came in here, and I don't know if he stripped the ball or not. Let's take another look at it. Trevor Wallace, look at that big blue wall up front. I think he did get it out. He got it out.
He sure did. That's your guy. He talked to us yesterday.
Yeah, he got it out. Alex Safari with the fumble recovery. That's two weeks in a row Alex Safari has been around the ball. Last week they forced a few turnovers. Big drive, big defensive stop for this Kentucky defense.
So winning sudden change. That is huge right now for the Wildcats. Here is Ray Davis. Stiff-arming his way back to the marker. Not much doing.
Eastern is doing a good job of just understanding personnel. When Ray Davis is in the game, it seems to me, after that first run that he got in the 1st quarter, they pretty much kind of held him in check. Ray Davis only has 18 yards right now, but they're going to continue to go to him. And I think it's important on this next play, they got to get some positive yardage. It's decision-making, and that's part of being mentally tough, Pete.
2nd and 9 for the Wildcats. Leary 8 for 12 on the day. A lot of short passes, though. Here's another one to Davis. Absorbing contact, running over Nunez. Gain of 6.
Yeah, and short passes are essential to any offense, especially when your quarterback is just trying to get into a rhythm. We keep saying that over and over, and I think that's important. It's a lot of pressure on Devin Leary, and I know a lot of his teammates understand that, but the thing that I can appreciate what Liam is doing is not putting him in harm's way, trying to force things down the field.
3rd and short. Only 1 first down on 4 tries so far today for Kentucky. Leary looks like he changed the play. Davis is the recipient. Bangs his way inside the 10-yard line, but we've got a flag back behind the 20. You could hear that all the way up here.
Tell you, this is when you got it.
Offensive rating 4. 10-yard penalties in the previous spot.
The sophomore, Josh Cadis. Another holding penalty for him today. That is 2 for the sophomore.
Yeah, 2 penalties, and that's bad. And it takes away from what you're trying to do as a team. We talked about them being on time, making sure they stay ahead of the chains. But you see Cadis right there with the hold. But you also see Ray Davis decides, man, I'm going to turn this thing up. And he just completely ran over the DB, Deontay Bimby.
How about that? 4 penalties for 30 yards for Kentucky. Huge 3rd down. 3rd and 13. Leary with time. Ball batted down. Is it intercepted? Colonels say it is. And so do the officials.
Whoa! Can you believe this?
Frank Lee can. He's the one that hit it and came down with it.
Frank Lee comes up the middle. He just won't be denied. Gets his hand up at the last second. Not only gets the deflection, but he also gets the interception. That's a bang, bang play. And we talked about Eastern earlier. When you have teams that come in like this and people think Kentucky is going to run over them, once they believe, it's hard for them to be put away. And that's what we're seeing from Eastern team right now.
McKinney, 3 for 4 throwing on the day. Another opportunity here. Floats this one intended for Jaden Smith, falls short of the target, 2nd down.
Now we are into sudden change. McKinney knows this is a great opportunity. We talked with their coaches yesterday, and they said it's 2 things that we want to make sure the goals. Get 2 first downs on every possession. Worst case scenario, flip the field. And that's the point of emphasis for Parker McKinney in this offense.
2nd and 10 for a small town kid from Tennessee, recruited by several Power 5 teams. After his junior season, and of course after last year. In a rhythm now, finding Jaden Smith this time. 8-yard gain.
Listen, Brad White told his guys, look guys, attention to detail, 32 Trevin Wallace. Trevin got to push to that spot. He was looking there. If he would have went, it could have been a PBU.
Now we have a flag down. Hunched over, you see offensive tackle Peyton Collins. Lot to sort out right now from Kroger Field.
Personal foul. Dead ball defense, number 92. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Khalil Saunders wishes he could have that one back. Fifth penalty of the day so far for Kentucky. 5 penalties for 45 yards.
Oh man, he hit him in the face. You got to be more disciplined than that, especially with the ref right there in front of you.
Yeah, that can get you tossed. Joe Monkoff, the center judge, right in the middle of that one. McKinney throws down the middle of the field. Maxwell Hairston, big time pick. Last week, Coach Stoops said sometimes he looked a little like a guy playing his first game at cornerback. Today, looking like a savvy veteran.
Parker McKinney wishes he could have this one back. He takes a shot. They was in shot territory. Maxwell Harrison had a different design in his mind. Turnover.
to Keo Spikes, running from Lexington, where there is a pulse finally. Big turnover for the Wildcats. Can they win sudden change? Leary from his own end zone.
And when we go back to the interception, number 31 for the Wildcats, Maxwell Harrison, he sees Parker McKinney locked in on this receiver. It was almost premeditated with Parker, knowing that he was going to take a shot because they were in shot territory. That's what offensives do after a turnover. And great job by Maxwell Harrison, the defensive back. Came in, read his eyes, and he was able to make a play on the ball.
And that was the play that Mark Stoops and his team needed. Backed up. Ray Davis across the 10-yard line. A little bit of extra punishment coming in late from Cam Jr. We'll call it a 6-yard gain. Flag is down.
Would this be a targeting or a late hit? How would you?
It's a whole new world from when you played.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 33. Previous players under review.
So right now, you just heard our referee Ken Williamson break it down. Let's take another look.
Yeah, he led with the head, and that's something you can't do. I know Cam Jr. strong linebacker, wants to have that back, but you got to make smart decisions.
Replay official Ken Switzer looks it over. We'll be back. So back in Lexington, it's going to be 3rd and 5 to Keo Spikes. This was not targeting. This was not a late hit. This was nothing.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I said before we went to break, is it a late hit or is it targeting? Because when you slow it down, everything looks egregious at that time period. But watching it in real time, I thought if anything, it should have been a late hit. But they let him play. 3rd and 4. We'll see what they do, right, Pete?
We will see what they do. They are 0 for their last 4 on 3rd down. 3rd and 4 for Leary. Quick pass, quick catch. Robinson moves the chains, 6-yard gain.
Love the recognition of Devin Leary right there. Immediately, as soon as he saw the ball snap, look at the 2 inside backers coming on the cross dog blitz. He know he has to get the ball out fast. Great recognition, and this is the timing, what they need to continue to develop. Tayvion Robinson ran the route perfectly, moving the sticks for a 1st down.
17 attempts so far for Leary, made good on 11 of them. I formation. Play fake. Pressure comes. Leary showing moxie. Once again finding Robinson, 18-yard gain.
Now Devin Leary is starting to heat up. They're utilizing play action. And just the process of elimination, he knew the linebackers were sucked up. The corner was off. Tayvion Robinson hitting the 7 route. And Devin doing a good job of just putting the ball where his receiver can catch it out of bounds. 1st down.
Injured in October of 2022 at NC State, missed the rest of the season, came to Lexington to play with Mark Stoops. 329 days in between game action. 2nd game back here, he is lathered up. Ray Davis, short game.
They're not getting away from the run. And I think it's smart that they continue to do that. I think they have some very good backs. We talk about Ray Davis. We also talk about Jaton McClain. Continue to utilize the run, because ultimately, in order for this offense to be who they want to be and have that identity, you have to be able to run the ball effectively. You have to. And right now, they're only averaging 2.4 yards per rush. And that's not good for this Kentucky football team. So let's see if they can continue to get creative and make more positive yards on 1st down with runs.
2nd and long, pistol formation, plays blown dead. Timeout for the Wildcats.
Timeout, Kentucky. First timeout of the half.
So we'll come back with 2nd and 8 in Kentucky, trying to prolong this drive. Liam Cohen and Leary will talk it over in the meantime.
Pete, it's hard to win games when you have miscues from your team. Block punt, you got enough people there. Opportunity for a big-time 3rd down catch, you don't do it. Jumping off sides on the defensive side. Devin Leary's just holding the ball too long. Great play by Frank Lee, the linebacker. And look, Stoops is trying to settle his team down and understand, guys, there's a lot of football left to be played, but one thing we can't do if we are to win this game is we cannot have self-inflicted wounds, meaning the punt blocked on the first drive of the game, 2nd drive you had turnovers on downs, and then the interception. So big picture, Pete, they got to be able to clean this up in order to get into that rhythm to establish that identity.
All right, I want to hop in the time machine with you. When you were at Auburn, heavy favorite, UT Chattanooga comes to town. You told us yesterday they had you guys on your heels for a little while. What's the mentality right now going for the Wildcats?
Well, they're starting to press, and that's what you're seeing out of their offense right now. Not taking shots down the field, or when they do, they're not even close to connecting, and just the timing is off. A la right here.
Ryan Jackson gets a big paw on it.
And what I want to say is this: Eastern Kentucky is playing some good, very good football right now, competitive. And what happens, going back to your story with Chattanooga, they had a receiver on that team that went by the name of T.O., Terrell Owens, right? And so belief is installed when they go out there and they have success early. It's their job as the Kentucky team, and the fans want it more than them right now. We want to see some action.
3rd and 8. 2 for 6 on 3rd downs for the Wildcats. Leary looking for some action. Throws a strike and a great catch by Brown. They're going to say it was incomplete. Looked good. Not so much.
Wow. I thought they went and dialed up a great play. Great ball, but this is where you got to be able to hold on to the football to give your quarterback some confidence. Barion Brown typically comes down with these type of passes. Great play design, great execution all the way up until the drop. Deontay Bembry stripped the ball out. Great play by the defensive back.
Back deep is Jaden Smith. Almost lost it. 50-yard kick. Tell you who's pulling his weight is the punter, Wilson Berry.
It's all about flipping the field position. Now, if you're Eastern Kentucky, hey, last series, we got to be able to put this away. We turn the football over. Parker McKinney, I'm sure he's going to make sure that he's not going to force anything. Defensively, if you're Kentucky, you have to think, let's keep up with the same trends. Let's turn this football over and give the ball back to our offense on the plus side of the 50.
Motion from Smith. Very little room. Right back up the middle goes Carter. Kentucky defense and De'Aaron Jackson eat him up and spit him out.
Yeah, Brad White, defensive coordinator for Kentucky. He talked about De'Aaron Jackson, the pride and joy of Dublin, Georgia. The thing that he does so well, he's the mastermind of the defense, being able to call out plays before guys recognize them, and it allows everybody else to play faster. I played with several linebackers who did the same thing. Now it seems like Kentucky is lining up in man coverage. Let's see what's coming.
McKinney likes what he sees, throws to a wide open Hensley, who was wrapped up after a 13-yard gain.
Another first down by Hensley. They were playing man on one side, zone on the other. Jackson Hensley, wide receiver, just found the soft spot in the zone. Parker McKinney found him as well. First down for Eastern.
McKinney 5 of 8 on the day, terribly efficient to 48 yards. Pistol formation. McKinney time again, uncorks it! And an incredible catch made by Brian Johnson. at the 36-yard line. He signals first down. The chains will move. 40-yard gain.
Parker McKinney, look, everything was dead to rights. Bryant Johnson, the receiver, he just played the ball. He saw the DB. Hardaway just didn't get his head around. And when you don't get your head around, you don't have a chance to make a play on the ball. Great job by Parker McKinney recognizing the one-on-one and giving his receiver an opportunity to go up and make a play, Bryant Johnson.
Under duress. Pressure coming again. This time it's too much. Geiger coming in hot.
Now you're seeing defense coordinator Brad White. He was like, oh, no, 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 I'm not sitting back. He just sent the blitz. He's not going to allow Parker McKinney to stay comfortable. He wants to speed up that internal clock.
One interception today for McKinney. That was tipped. One interception last week, or one of two interceptions last week, was also deflected. Second and long. Off his back foot, it is complete. Smith thrown down right away. Geiger on him quickly.
Jaden Smith had a good game against Cincinnati last week, right receiver for Eastern. But Brad White he's sending guys coming. He wants that ball to come out of Parker McKinney's hand fast and often. 2 times in a row, he just called the blitz. Parker McKinney recognized it. Good job by the Kentucky defense.
3rd and 5. The Colonels 52% last year on 3rd down. Thanks in part to this cool customer. Not this time. All over him was Trevin Wallace. Playing downhill last week, just the way Coach White likes it, and had his ears pinned back there.
SEC Defensive Player of the Week last week. Trevin Wallace just relentless, coming with the double A-gap blitz that flushed Parker McKinney out of the box and allowed them to get off the field on 3rd down.
So here's Patrick Nations, the left-footed kicker, with a 48-yard attempt coming up. Does it have the distance? No. So after the 40-yard gain, the Colonels aren't able to convert. We'll take another look.
And it was short.
It is a game of inches. As Coach Wells knows, his team is still ahead 7-0. We'll step aside. We are live from Lexington. Kroger Field, close to capacity. 61,000 fans sitting on their hands early on. Leary, wide open. Jordan Dingle, 16-yard gain.
I really like this play design, something simple. You come out in 12 personnel. What is that? 1 back, 2 tight ends. You set up the formation for run, make the defense think. Look at everybody get caught on one side. Jordan Dingle comes back, big tight end. First down, your quarterback, gotta love that. Gotta love it.
Leary hits the century mark with that completion. 13 of 21 for a buck. Play fake to Davis. Leary lofts one out of reach, intended for Brown. Wide open.
Wide open, but I'm going to tell you one thing. The matchup that he really had going down the field was number 5, Anthony Brown-Stevens. It was the perfect one-on-one opportunity, and I'm sure Devin Leary, when he sees that in the film room, he's going to be like, oh, I should have gave you a shot, Anthony. But it's okay. It's okay. Play calling has been very good. Let's see if they can take the play call and make the proper decisions in order to put them in the driver's seat.
2nd and 10. Here comes the pressure. Leary steps out of it. Wings it downfield, intended for Brown, incomplete. The pressure coming from Chile.
Nick Chile did an excellent job. He was the reason why that play did not work. Nick Chile coming out of the secondary at his safety position on the blitz. It made Devin Leary had to reset. And he was trying to get the ball out fast enough, but when you don't put everything behind it, knowing that the pressure is coming, that's what happens. Bad pass. Eastern is not going to take their time. They believe, look, guys, they want to take away the deep shot, but they're bringing pressure.
3rd and 10. Pressure now on the Wildcats. Leary tried to thread the needle. Key can't hang on to it. They are 4 of their last 10 on 3rd down. Frankie West Jr. in coverage.
4th and 10.
Devin lit him. He had him. Pass was a little outside of the frame. Ideally, you would like for him to stick it on him so he can catch it and keep it moving. Poor execution off the field on 3rd down again.
Jaden Smith back deep. Barry gives it a ride. Will fall inside the 20 and take a Kentucky bounce. Down to inside the 5. Colonels will have the ball deep in their own territory after another booming punt from Wilson Berry. His 3rd punt of the day, over 50 yards. He's done his part.
Yeah, he's definitely done his part. And we talk about flipping the field. The best special teamer for defense is always the punter. Why? Because of what we've been seeing. And now if you're a Kentucky defense coming back out, you want to do the same things that you did in the last 3 drives. Fumble, force the fumble, recover the fumble, interception, and then also controlling sudden change on a field goal attempt and not allowing for it to go through.
Shotgun formation standing in the paint of the Kentucky end zone. Quick give is to Joshua Carter, falling forward for a few. So we're inside 4 minutes. The last time Kentucky was held scoreless at home was back against the Georgia Bulldogs, right? The team who won the title. And that was at home in November of 22, last season. Colonels will play it safe. Carter says, hang on there. We're not done yet. 7-yard gain, wrapped up by Wallace.
Eastern Kentucky understands the significance of what this drives mean. They're not in a hurry to run the clock. But they're not in a hurry to run a play. They want to get into halftime going in with the 7-0 lead. I would be very surprised if they pass the ball right here.
3rd and 1. You called it, but it's McKinney weaving his way to a 1st down and more. Finally driven to the turf by Wallace. Picks up 10 and an essential 1st down.
Just reading all of the clips, trying to find out what makes Parker McKinney so special. He has a little wiggle to him that most people don't expect. And his offensive lineman, Josiah Isram, talked about, like, that's the reason why we want to run through a brick wall for him. He is relentless.
Wow, bearing down like a heat-seeking missile is Trevor Wallace, the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Week.
Great call. Loving what Brad Jackson is doing, Brad White is doing, defensive coordinator. And I'm not even sure if Trevin Wallace was called on the blitz on that one. It looks as if he just saw the offensive line just opened up and he was like, I see something and I got to go and get it.
Well, we can take people behind the curtain too. He talked about yesterday, and so have the coaches, De'Aaron Jackson, playing alongside him at linebacker, is one of his best friends. And sometimes Jackson will cue him up and say, hey, here's what's coming. And he will come. There is his wife, by the way, Alani Wallace, his daughter.
Yeah.
He told us that. That is his motivation.
Beautiful family, Trevin. Beautiful family. And he was like, it's hard, but every day, this is my why I'm going to go out and make the plays regardless of how hard it may be.
Really fantastic young kid. Great to talk with him yesterday. 2nd and long. Colonels will keep it on the ground. Joshua Carter will keep moving forward. 5-yard gain. Clock continues to run. Kentucky, will they burn their last timeout?
Timeout.
Yes, they will.
Kentucky, 3rd and final timeout of the half. It's a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 29 seconds.
All right, so what are you dialing up here if you're Brad White?
Well, if you're Brad White, you got to know that Eastern Kentucky, they're just trying to get into the locker room at halftime. I'm not going to, you can put your corners on the island. For what? Just go ahead, let them run the ball, tackle it, and then hopefully you get the ball back to your offense with enough time to be able to push the ball downfield. Worst case scenario, you come out with 3 points. Or best case scenario, that's what you want to do.
And you can feel good about this front 7 getting after it. Probably one of the most athletic front 7 groups that Coach Mark Stoops has had since arriving in Kentucky 11 years ago. And thanks in part to this guy, Coach Wallace. Coach White, rather, excuse me.
I think worst case scenario, he may. Eastern is coming out, spread out. I think this is going to be a run in the inside. Let's see what happens.
Possible the ball won't leave Parker McKinney's hands. And it doesn't. Thrown down to the turf. J.J. Weaver makes quick work of it.
It makes sense. I knew Eastern wasn't going to take the risk of putting the ball in the air with the turnover. And you talked about the defensive line. Deion Walker, all of these guys, Octavius Oxendine, they are relentless.
Barion Brown deep for Kentucky.
Barion Brown is deep. The last thing they want to do is get the ball to him. Coach Wells said they were going to kidnap him and keep him off kick returns. He is running free now.
They should have kidnapped him.
Across the 25. Wildcats in business. 40-yard return.
I don't know why would you kick it to him, because this guy is electric, had a 99-yard kickoff return last week. And this is not by accident, this is what he does. Now if you're Kentucky, Pete, what's important is you have 48 seconds on the clock. You get a first down, the clock will stop. But what will the ideal thing is, the worst case scenario, walk out of here with 3 points before the half. Best thing, touchdown. Let's see what Devin Leary does in order to get that done.
Leary launches it to the left side. Touchdown Robinson, 24 yards.
Talk about taking a shot, Devin Leary. Way to fight back, young man.
And the crowd here at Kroger Field, 60,000 strong, has been brought back to life. We talk about winning sudden change. The Wildcats and Coach Liam Cohen did that right there in front of our eyes.
That was big time. That was big time. All of the fans that came here inside of the stadium today, this is what they were expecting to see. Play action fake, and you can tell he saw the one-on-one opportunity, and he just put it in a bucket in the back of the end zone that allowed his receiver, Tayvion Robinson, to come down with it. Perfect ball placement. The DB thought he was good, and Leary loved it.
The transfer. He did need it. Came to Kentucky in February of 2023. Looking like he is right at home there after the strike to Tayvion Robinson.
And quiet as kept, Tayvion Robinson is having a nice game. 3 catches, 49 yards. A touchdown to add with that. 3 targets. He's catching everything Devin is putting out there.
And it all started with special teams and Barion Brown with that big return up the sideline, igniting this team, this offense, and this crowd.
I bet you Coach Wells he's going to have a stern talk with this special teams coordinator for kicking it to Barion Brown.
Literally, he told the media that in his big press conference on Tuesday, and Coach Wells told us that. Said he was going to kidnap Barion Brown, has not done it. And how exciting was that? Brown coming down the sideline, and you got to love players and the energy. Of course you do, right? 15 years in the NFL, but pointing to the end zone that he was going to take it to the house, the crowd loved it. Of course, Coach Wells did not.
Yeah, and when you have that type of threat as a returner, like, your teammates will do whatever they possibly can do. Extra blocks, they will finish guys. They will make sure they will run all the way into the whistle to ensure that you have every opportunity to score.
Colonels will get the kick in the second half. Oof.
Marker down.
5 penalties for 45 yards in the first half for Kentucky.
Offside, defense number 92. The movement by the defense caused the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Call it 6 now. Khalil Saunders offsides.
Khalil is having a rough first half. Got the personal foul earlier, now jumping offside with 42 seconds left. You got to be smarter than that.
Carter running downhill. Close to a first down. Just shy. Jordan Lovett on the tackle.
Yeah, Jordan Lovett, he allowed the defensive line just to clear everything out, jumped in. Nice job of being able to jump in and make that tackle like that. They're going to pretty much just run this down to the half. But who would have ever thought Eastern Kentucky would go into halftime tied with Kentucky?
What's the mindset for the Wildcats heading into the locker room, locked in a 7-7 tie?
I think defensively, let's start there first. Hey guys, we've been doing everything what we wanted to do as far as the last 4 drives of the game. There's some things they need to clean up penalty-wise. Offensively, it's important for them. They got to get into a rhythm. Devin Leary, he did that finishing the half. So let's see, can they keep that up coming out for the second half?
A big first half for the Colonels. Wildcats punch back. We are tied at halftime. Stats and highlights coming up. 7-7 tie. Eyebrows around the country raised right now. Kentucky at home, locked in a 7-7 tie at halftime against Eastern Kentucky. Back in Lexington, Pete Souza with the Pro Bowler, Takeo Spikes. This is more than we bargained for, and we found out early this was going to be a bit of a dogfight. We had a block punt on Kentucky's first possession, and since then, it's just been a wonky game.
Yeah, it has, and we talked about Kentucky coming into this game not having the miscues, and that's exactly what they did in all phases of the game. Block punt on special teams, not being able to make the tough catch to give your quarterback confidence, jumping offside on the defense, and then holding the ball too long, trying to force something, batted pass, interception. Stoops understands and knows, in order for us to get this identity going, we got to stop these self-inflicted wounds. And as we look at the quarterback comparison, Devin Leary really stepped up his game at late in the second quarter. Now it's important moving forward for the third and fourth quarter that he takes up, he keeps this same attitude, he keeps this same approach, because Eastern Kentucky believes that they can win this game. Kentucky allowing them to stay around. That's the reason why we're seeing a lot of good football being played by.
We break down the first half stats. Somewhat even. I'll tell you what's not on the screen there, Mr. Spikes, is penalties. 6 penalties for the Wildcats. And that, we talked about the self-inflicted wounds, really affected their cause early on. And now you've got a team taking the field who you touched on believes in themselves.
Yeah, they do it. And Parker McKinney is doing a good job. If it was one play that he wanted to have back, it was the interception where he was trying to force it. But other than that, he's playing within the scheme, and he understands, let's try to get 2 first downs on every drive or flip the field position, worst case scenario.
Overcast, cool day here in Lexington. Wow, McKinney showing that moxie, stepping up in the face of traffic. Deion Walker delivered the blow, but nonetheless, a completion.
McKinney looks as if he was ready to run it. He scanned the field and saw nobody is open. But Deion Walker did a great job. It looks like Trevin Wallace was in there too as well.
2nd and 5. Trips to the bottom of your screen. McKinney, quick pitch and catch. First catch of the afternoon. We saw a great grab there. Mo Edwards.
Very simple read. Maxwell Harrison in the corner, playing a deep third on that side. That play is going to be open for the wide receiver to be able to convert that first down. Great recognition by Parker McKinney.
9 of 14 so far today is McKinney. A guy who wants a shot at the next level, and if he keeps playing this efficient, will get one. Talk to folks around the Eastern Kentucky program. There have been all kinds of NFL scouts descending on practices so far. Quick pitch and catch there again. Short game.
Andrew Phillips, I'm sorry, did a great job of just coming out of the secondary, off of the play action, not allowing a big yardage gain.
Hunter Brown with his first catch of the afternoon, had a touchdown last week. 2nd and 7 coming up for Eastern Kentucky. Crowd here in Lexington starting to get into it. Sloan with the catch. Down the sideline, ushered out of bounds by Wallace. Big play for the Colonels, 20 yards.
Braden Sloan, running back for Carolina. He just comes out and run a little option route. Missed tackle by Jordan Lovett, and you can't have that. That allows the momentum to keep going, and Sloan was able to convert. He means a lot to this team.
We talked about the fact they didn't have much of an opportunity to get any running backs involved last week. It was bombs over Baghdad early on, as Coach Wells told us, against Cincinnati. McKinney 4 of 4 on this drive. Make it 5 of 5 as he quickly hits Smith, who is thrown to the turf.
Clearly, when you look at the game plan for Eastern Kentucky, they're not worried about trying to take the top off. If you give me 5 yards, I'm going to take 5 yards. If you give me 3 yards and if I throw it to my running back, I'm hoping that my running back breaks tackles. That's the mindset, that's the philosophy of this drive from what I'm seeing. And hopefully they're thinking with this type of mindset, it will get them into field goal position.
2nd and 6, pistol formation. Sloan again, right into the teeth of the defense and into space inside the 10-yard line. And you can hear the Eastern Kentucky faithful cheer on that 28-yard gain.
Once again, Braden Sloan. Last week it was Joshua Carter, but this week it's Braden Sloan busting right up the middle. Great inside blocking by John Stone, Vincent Munlin, Isaiah Bunn. These guys opening up creases against the big blue wall on the defensive side.
Just 4 carries last week, has 5 today. 43 yards for Sloan. Wells will go with a hot hand. Short game.
Now you look at Kentucky's defense, they're stunned. They're surprised. And Brad White on that last play, he made sure that he called the blitz. And I think that's what they do. That's how they play well. when they attack and they dictate everything on their terms versus sitting back playing coverage. Let's see what he does right here.
Sloan to the edge, moving the pile forward, but that'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Josiah Hayes, nose guard, was in on the stop on that play. But this is big right here. Big 3rd down. This is what it's all about. They came into this game and Brad White made it plain and clear to his players. Guys, this is a team that can have some serious threat if we don't do what we do, but we got to get off the field on 3rd down.
9th play of the drive. Kentucky crowd making noise. McKinney under pressure from Wallace. Didn't have a chance.
There goes that man again, Trevor Wallace on the blitz. And the thing I like about, I don't know if he had the back man-to-man coverage, but he saw something and he pulled the trigger, and he talked about it last week, Pete. He was like, I'm not sitting back waiting. I like to be the aggressor and take the fight to them, and sometimes I go into a dark place.
He found the dark place there. So no intentional grounding, as you see Coach Wells stating his case. Nations on for the field goal attempt. 21 yards. Splits the uprights. Colonel's lead. Coach Wells has some issue with the officials, but has to like the score. 10-7, we'll step aside. This man right here is not happy. He has won 20 of his last 21 non-conference games, 17 straight regular season non-conference wins. Here's another guy who's not happy.
And I understand why. The look on his face pretty much explains how Kentucky football has been played up until this point.
Coach Walt Wells, we talked about the personal hardship. Lost his brother just about 65 days ago. Had a massive heart attack before the start of last season. Has gone through it all to this game this afternoon. Says he still thinks about his brother, a legendary high school football coach, all the time. I'm sure he's thinking about him today. So this is a program, Takio, that is tradition rich. 22 conference championships, 22 FCS playoff appearances, that's tied for second most, and 2 FCS national championships. And this guy, Coach Wells, as we reset the game clock, took them to their first FCS playoff appearance in over a decade last year.
Yeah, and you know, for the viewers at home, this program has some winning capability behind it, as we see right there. And these guys are not just coming out here hoping to get a dub or to get a win. They are expecting to win now since they've been hanging around for so long.
And here is Ray Davis spinning to the 29-yard line. Made some noise early and has been unable to really get going.
It's important for Kentucky right now. They wanted to come out and establish the running game, got 1 yard on first down. But let's see if Devin Leary can pick up where he left off at the end of the second quarter to where he was able to lead his team to a touchdown.
A concerned hush over the crowd here at Kroger Field. Leary trying to give him something to cheer about. Quick strike to Key. First down, 11 yards.
It's all about timing, and that's one of the things that they do well. Most of his completions today, especially when he see the corner is playing off, it's been the out routes or the hitches. Getting the play from the sideline, resetting, 1st and 10.
Leary gonna try to take the top off. Just through the hands Isaiah Cummings couldn't hang on.
Isaiah Cummings, the big tight end, tall tight end, standing at 6'3". It would have had to be a remarkable catch, but he threw into double coverage. Maybe he was trying to give his big tight end the opportunity to make a play. Second down.
This is an Eastern Kentucky defense that surrendered 66 points last week against Cincinnati. Leary, here comes the pressure, spins out of it, and throws it away. Shexaloo fall from the Bronx. Had Leary in his sights. Let's see it again.
Great awareness by Devin Leary, because I thought he was going to be plastered to the ground. Defensive end Fall did a great job of just being able to be disruptive. And as we see there, the third down conversions last week against Ball State, 4 of 9. Today, only 1 of 8. This is a big third down, one that they surely would love to get in order to keep the chains moving.
Leary throws right down the middle of the field. Robinson wrapped up inside the 35, 25-yard gain.
I tell you what, Devin Leary and Tayvion Robinson, they are connecting today. And a lot of it has been the deep overs across the middle, as we see right here. And I just think Tayvion does a good job of finding that spot in the zone. And Devin recognizes that. And I think that's what makes the magic happen out of these two guys. 4 catches for 74 yards today. This has been a consistent theme throughout the game.
Reverse. The explosive Brown inside the 30. The crowd erupts. The turf monster might have gotten him. 26-yard gain.
Now they're feeling it. This is why Liam Cohen came back. He understands the impact of the play calling, putting the ball inside of his playmaker's hand. And how did he get tripped? Was it the turf monster, Pete? His teammate did, trying to throw a block. We can't charge him for that.
Josh Cade is down the field. So it's 1st and goal. A couple big plays for the Wildcats. Ray Davis. Chopped down by Chile.
Nice job by the left side of that offensive line. Marcus Cox being able to cave it down to allow Ray Davis to sneak through, pick up a few yards. Now it's 2nd and goal. It's important. Coming out of here with the field goal will be very disappointing for this Kentucky offense. Please believe this could be 4-down territory.
Leary staring into the eyes of the Colonel's defense. Over the head of Key. Had him in the back of the end zone. Chile again on the scene.
One thing about the play action, what I've been seeing, if you look overall, they only have 54 yards rushing, 13 attempts. Ideally, on a play like that, you would like to think the safety backers will step up, but Eastern Kentucky, you got to give them credit. They played it well, was able to defend it.
3rd and goal on the 9th play of the drive. Leary took the contact. We've got a flag down. Right now we got Robinson with his 2nd touchdown. Off your camera. Leary picks himself up off the turf. The flag was in the end zone. Face mask on the defense. Kentucky.
What a play by Devin Leary. Guys, it's a lot going on this play. And it's a lot, if you're a Kentucky fan, to get excited about. Eastern Kentucky came with the zero blitz. Everybody is coming and brought more than they could block. Devin Leary stayed in the pocket, stared down the defender, and threw a strike to Tayvion Robinson.
Jalen Haird delivered the blow, but Leary got it off first. Kentucky with its first lead of the game. 5 minutes, 47 seconds left in the third quarter. We've got a whistle.
Ball start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. Replay to try.
So we'll kick it again. Kentucky, their first 6 drives to Keogh, 0 points. The last 2 drives, 14 points. Something's working.
Yeah, something is working, and what's working is Devin Leary. He's finally connecting. And look, it's not just all him. He needs some help from his receivers to be able to make some big-time catches too as well. And they have that type of talent. But more than anything, not having the self-inflicted wounds to be able to, once you get a drive started, now with something is being taken back 15 yards. So they did very well on this drive.
Extra point is good after the penalty. So there's Devin Leary. The calm in the eye of the storm, Coach Stoops told us. Woo! Awfully calm there. Wildcats lead. Nine plays, 72 yards, and a sign of life. Robinson with the touchdown. Kentucky in control for now to Keogh Spikes. What have you seen for them that has enabled them to come back?
Well, just being able to convert, not necessarily on third down, which that was a big goal of theirs, but really just converting on third down. 3 first downs that entire drive, which allowed them, they ran the ball 3 times as well for 30 yards. But look, bottom line is this: in order for Kentucky to be the team that they need to be to finish out this game and win, they got to run the ball effectively. And that is something that they haven't been able to do. Only 13 carries for 54 yards, while conversely, when you look at Eastern Kentucky, they have 19 carries for 82 yards.
Well, one of the big rushing plays we talked about was Barion Brown on that reverse. That's 26 yards. So there you see it. Last 6 drives, 100 yards, or excuse me, first 6 drives, 100 yards, 0 points. Last 2 drives, they got 14 points.
Yeah, and now defensively, what's important for Kentucky, they pretty much got the ball ran down their throat, humiliated. Let's see how they respond on this drive.
Carter is your running back. Sloan did most of the damage on that last possession. McKinney pulls it down, tried to slip out of the pocket, and is brought down. Robinson makes the play along with Silver.
Robinson got a lot of great pressure up front. Keyshawn Silver, though, for me, just looking at his tape, even from last week, he's a guy who could, if you put him on any other team, legitimately, he's a starter. So that goes to show you how much depth they have at the defensive line, quality depth.
Carter cuts back, seeking daylight, falls forward across the 30-yard line. We'll bring up third down.
Now Eastern Kentucky is doing the same thing they did on the last drive. They want to impose their will by getting 3 yards gain here, maybe 4-yard gain there, to put them in third and makeable situations to where third down is not third and a mile.
Parker McKinney has rewritten the record books at Eastern Kentucky. Backs against the wall here, 3rd and 5 with his team trailing by 4. You saw the flag on the bottom of your screen. Johnson converts 13-yard game and what would be a first down. Let's find out exactly what's going on as we get it to referee Ken Williamson.
Offside. Defense number 0. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
This is unacceptable. Another self-inflicted wound. One of their stars, Deon Walker, is jumping offside. This is third down. You can't do that. You're right over the ball. You have to be able to see the ball. But then even on the top side of the coverage, they ran man coverage, didn't even talk it through to see who was playing outside leverage or inside leverage. Great job by Parker McKinney being able to recognize that.
Is now 13 for 19 on the day, 144 yards, 68% completion. Has time, whips it to his right, intended for Sloan, came up short.
Kentucky decided to go with the 3-man rush on that one. That means you're going to have 8 guys into coverage. And that's the reason why nothing was open. Brad White, defensive coordinator, throwing a curveball right there. Nicely done.
Coach White, another guy, just like offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who spent a lot of time in the NFL. His turn came with the Indianapolis Colts. Back here overseeing this Wildcat defense, looking to make a big play here on 2nd and 10. Another straight drop for McKinney. Another laser. This time Johnson couldn't hang on.
He had Barion Johnson sitting up over the curl, close by the first down. He just could not bring it in. The thing I like about Parker McKinney, he's shown a lot of poise in this game. He doesn't get rattled easily. And the thing I appreciate about his game, he fights to keep plays alive. And let's see what he does on this big third down right here.
4 of 8 on third down so far today. Crowd at Kroger Field. Wow. McKinney directs traffic, throwing on the run. Almost intercepted by Zion Childress as he ran out of time.
Kentucky's defensive secondary, they were ready for the route concepts that came behind it. Up front, I will be a little concerned because they are not getting any pass rush, Pete, by their front four.
The Aussie, Jeremy Edwards, in to give it a ride. Robinson back deep. Takes the hop at the 15. We'll step aside after a 42-yard punt. Devin Leary looking to capitalize on the touchdown. 14-10, Wildcats lead. You think this game means something to these two opponents? Let's show you, Takeo Spikes.
Oh yeah, it's getting a little chippy out there. Zion Childress, safety for Kentucky, is talking to Walt, head coach Walt, and Walt was like, hey, look at the score, big guy. We're not afraid of you. We're here. We're ready to play.
Big smile from Walt Wells. Zion Childress meant business. Devin Leary back on the field. Kentucky 2 touchdowns in their last 2 possessions. Thrown behind Brown. And Bembry comes up and makes a big play. Brown slow to get up.
Big time play right there. Deontay Bembry, cornerback for Eastern Kentucky. They design plays like that to put it in the ball handler's hands so he can make a play. Great open field tackle, and it was a tackle for a loss. That's big time.
Bembry, the Georgia Southern transfer, has made a couple big tackles so far today. 2nd and 11. Robinson on the end around. He's got 2 touchdowns. He'd like 3 across the 40. It's a foot race. Finally catching up to him all the way down the field is Evans, but not before. A huge gain, 56 yards. There is a flag down.
Personal foul, forced guard tackle, defense number 18.
Liam Cohen is like, I need to get the ball to the guy who's been giving me results. Tayvion Robinson, it's not a handoff. It counts as a pass since he kind of touched, flicked it to him. But look at the horse collar tackle in the back. Good call by the ref. Definitely don't want that a part of the game. Tayvion is so fast. I guess the defender felt like this is the only way I'm going to get him.
Yeah, what else was Cornelius Evans to do? When it's all said and done, a 56-yard gain before the penalty. Longest of the day for the Wildcats. McLean. Nice play up front. Ryan Jackson standing up at the point of attack, the two-year starter, pushing back that Kentucky running attack. We still haven't seen them been able to get on track.
No, they haven't. And I thought McLean was a little fast to declare where he wanted to go, but great job by Ryan Jackson. He got extension with one hand with the offensive lineman and then wrapped up McLean with the left hand. So very nice job. That's clinic tape right there.
6'2", 290. Jackson standing tall in the middle of the defense. Leary. Wide open! 13-yard touchdown for Brown. Time to have some fun here in Lexington.
It seems to me this Kentucky offense, they go when they get big plays. Once they see the big play happens, now they have the belief, and then the momentum turns into more positive plays.
To your point, the third consecutive touchdown drive for the Wildcats. Finishing touches for the Wildcats, but let's take a look back.
Play action, and you see they brought Barion all the way across field. And that's one route they haven't been able to stop. You see the linebackers. It was an all-out blitz from the linebackers in the inside. Number 17 linebacker from Eastern Kentucky, Fall. He didn't see him coming behind him. Ended up touchdown.
Barion Brown says, I love you, Lexington. And a quick phone conversation. And the smile. Said, I told you to call that one.
I told you to call the play. Yeah. Coach Cohen is on the sideline, Barion. Who was it called?
go thank him in person. 4 plays, 85 yards, 2 minutes. And the exclamation point.
This is the type of offense that the fans came here to see. These are the expectations that many experts came and thought that this is the Kentucky team will have coming up, especially playing against opponents like Eastern Kentucky. But Eastern Kentucky has something to say.
Yeah, obviously an exciting time to be a Wildcat fan as they have surged ahead up by 11. What does Eastern Kentucky have to do? Down by just 11 points. You got almost 17 minutes left to play.
I think if you're head coach Walt Wells right now defensively, you've given up, what, 3 touchdowns on the last 3 drives. So offensively, come in and try to do some of the same things. They've had success as far as driving the ball, and they haven't been doing that by throwing the ball down the field, but just mixing up the run, pass, taking their shots, getting 5 yards here. So let's see if they continue to stay with that. The worst thing I think they can do is try to press and try to get it all back within 1 drive.
Wide left. McKinney, not his finest moment. Burbage can't reel it in. McKinney 0 for his last 4.
Yeah, and he knew it. As soon as he threw the ball, he knew it. He was telling his receiver, that's on me. Just throw it a little bit outside. But Brad White, he's making it a point. He's bringing pressure. I would expect the inside linebackers to be able to come again on this one.
And you can hear this Kentucky crowd. Can McKinney knife through it? Smith trying to cross the 30. A gang of Kentucky tacklers makes that difficult after a 6-yard gain.
He's definitely adding to the pressure. Now, Kentucky, you're faced with the third down opportunity, 3rd and 4. What coverage can defensive coordinator Brad White put behind it to make it successful in order for them to get off the field?
4 of 9 on 3rd downs today. You called Parker McKinney a lifeline for this team. Is the heart still beating? 3rd and 4. Finds Carter, who shakes and bakes. Big time hit by Phillips, but a big gain. 39 yards for the Colonels.
Attention to detail. Joshua Carter came out of the backfield and he put a move on a defender. We'll see once they go and hurry up, but we'll get a replay of that. But that was a big play by Parker McKinney, recognizing the mismatch, getting it to his open receiver, which was his running back.
McKinney steps out of the pocket. He throws well on the run. He'll opt to keep it and is run out of bounds by Jackson. Hey, we got a ball game. 21-10. We're coming back with the final frame. So far, this one has not disappointed. Wildcats lead.
The theme of the game for Kentucky defense, get off the field on 3rd down. Keaton Wade, number 20, he was peeling on the back. The back ran an option route, ran straight up. Parker McKinney saw it. Great job by him allowing his back to get open and extending the drive.
2nd and 4. McKinney swings it to Smith. Phillips comes up and makes the play close to the 1st down marker. It looks as though it'll move the chains. And it will.
Another 1st down. And look, when you look at Parker McKinney, outside of the interception that he's thrown, he's pretty much played a clean game. And, you know, quarterbacks get knocks on being a game manager. Listen, he's done a great job of managing the game and making sure he plays within the scheme, and you got to give him props for that.
Free play. McKinney upstairs. It was knocked down at the last moment by Phillips.
Way to finish the play for Andrew.
Offside. Defense, number 0 within the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Big 1st down.
That's now 2 times Deion Walker has jumped offside. Hey, I know you want to get there, big fella. But it's gut-wrenching time now.
7 penalties for 55 yards. Make that 8 penalties for 60 yards for Kentucky.
It's hard. It's hard to beat teams when you have self-inflicted wounds. Nice job by Andrew Phillips, the corner, being able to finish that play.
Little misdirection at the end of the day. They go straight ahead. Carter short game.
Andrew Phillips again coming on the outside on the corner blitz. And if you're Kentucky defensively right now, you're thinking there's no way that we can give up a touchdown. We have the momentum.
Numbers don't lie, Spikes. 2 of 2 in the red zone is Eastern Kentucky so far today. Let's find out what happens. 2nd and 4. Smith on the end around takes it back up the field. 4-yard gain.
That almost looked like the same play that Liam Cohen ran for Tayvion Robinson a series to go on the big run.
And give the Wildcats credit. They are swarming to the football. Multiple tacklers there. So here we go. 3rd and 1. Pistol formation for Parker McKinney. He'll go to Carter. Will go for a first down. Gut check after gut check for these Colonels. They are rising to the occasion.
Listen, they will not be denied when it comes to getting first down.
5 of 11 on 3rd down today.
And now defensively, when you have your backs against the wall, the pressure starts to build. You don't want to make a mistake. So now it's easy to start pressing.
Weaver looks like he's coming at the bottom of the screen. He is. But McKinney drops it off for Sloan. 9-yard touchdown.
Wow. Unbelievable. Parker McKinney, I said it earlier, he doesn't get rattled. He keeps his poise. He recognizes the 0 blitz. His back slips out of the backfield. Number 21, Braden Sloan, for the touchdown. Great execution.
So the lead is now 4, and Parker McKinney continues to fight. The 6-year senior had all kinds of Power 5 offers, stuck with his hometown team, and right now they're sticking with the Wildcats. Touchdown drive, 9 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes and 43 seconds. And my man Sloan right there, he set a belt a little bit ago. He's walking around with the championship belt. 7 carries, 48 yards. And how about the receptions? 3 for 40.
I'll even give you another nugget about Braden Sloan. He's the only player in Division I ball with at least 400 yards rushing, receiving, and also kick returning from a year ago. So this guy is a threat coming in here into Wildcat Stadium.
And here is another threat. Somehow getting under the football on the kickoff return is Barion Brown.
Going back to the touchdown. Look, Kentucky's coming with a 0 blitz. Number 3, Alex Safari, looked as if it was miscommunication, trying to figure out who was going to cover who if the back came out. And if you don't cover him, Braden Sloan will hold the belt and say, I am him. I am the champ.
Yeah, you saw the belt. And let's see if the Colonels can come back, still trailing by 4 points. Does Devin Leary have what it takes to turn the corner here for his team? Here's Ray Davis trying to salt away a victory across the 40. 7-yard gain.
I think it's imperative, if you're Kentucky now, is not so much sitting on the clock, but when you get opportunities to run the football, your offensive line, the big blue wall, they have to get movement up front in order to give Liam Cohen some options to be able to get other playmakers involved.
2nd and short. Coming up on 11 minutes. Davis again. Churning out yards, another first down for the Wildcats.
This is what they like to see. 2 runs ended up being a first down. They would love to continue to do this. Ray Davis is that guy who has the ability, who has the intellect, the football savvy. Coming into this game, the last 5 games for Ray Davis, he was averaging 7 yards per carry. Today, only averaging 5. So We'll see how this shakes out.
1st and 10. Brown in motion. You felt that one coming to the short side of the field. He is run out of bounds after picking up 9 yards.
And that's such an unconventional play. Not necessarily the play call, but you're taking Barion Brown, running him into the boundary. Because it's so unconventional, defenses sleep on it. And that way, when they sleep on it and they're not expecting it, it allows him to be able to get the corner for an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, that's a great point for somebody like me who doesn't know any better. You expect a play like that to go to the wide side of the field so there can be some kind of explosion. But, hey, all the while we got a 9-yard gain.
Yep.
2nd and short again for the Wildcats. Leary right between the numbers. Brown is pulled down just outside of the 30-yard line after a 14-yard gain.
Now it looks like Kentucky's offense, they're getting into rhythm. They're understanding, look guys, certain plays are going to be open. We just need to make sure we execute. Devin Leary's doing a very good job of just reading the defense after the play action fake.
Devin Leary engineered 17 victories and just 4 losses for NC State over a 1.5-year period. Trying to bring that act to Lexington. Ray Davis coming over from Nashville. A Vanderbilt transfer for 8 yards.
Ray Davis got positive yards on that play, but you got to give a lot of credit to the big blue wall on that. These guys created lanes. Look at Jagger Burton up front, Eli Cox, Dylan Ray. These guys creating big lanes, driving their defensive linemen down the field. Best run of the day for Ray Davis.
Chile, who has been wreaking havoc all day long, was decleated right there in his effort to make a play. We've also seen a lot of movement, a lot of misdirection just after the snap. Leary floats right, throws left. Ray Davis extends, touchdown, 24 yards.
Very nice setup for Liam Cohen and the Kentucky Wildcats. Fakes it to Ray Davis out of the backfield, rolls to the right. He knew nobody was going to cover the back coming out of the backfield. Why? Because they haven't shown that all day. They didn't show it last week. Nice play design, but even better execution by the Kentucky Wildcats offense.
So the Wildcats now have an 11-point lead. We've got a whistle and a flag, so that'll hold things up. 8 minutes left as we see the referees convene. Right now, it's a 10-point advantage.
Offside, defense number 0. Movement by the offense because the offense directs. After this is a goal, replay try.
So we'll do it again because the penalty was before the snap and on the defense. And there is Ray Davis, 51 yards on that drive alone, running and receiving. He's a guy transferring over from Vanderbilt. 9 months ago when he jumped in the portal, everybody wanted him. 11 years ago as a foster kid, really nobody wanted him. And now here he is, found some love, found football, and he has had an amazing journey. Daryl Bird from Cat's Paws just wrote a terrific article about him. You can find that online, but really illuminating story about a guy now who is a champion for foster care and has brought his team now to the brink of a possible victory, which was in doubt for a little while. How about the extension?
You got to have the extension. This is desire. I want to have it, Ray Davis. He will not be denied.
Heavy hearts around the college football world, and especially at Eastern Kentucky. Roy Kidd transitioned into hospice care this week. Legendary Eastern Kentucky head coach. 39 seasons, 2 1AA championship games, and quite a legacy he would leave behind.
Yeah, Kidd actually turned down a scholarship to play football at Kentucky because then head coach Barion wouldn't let Kidd also play his favorite sport for the Wildcats, which was baseball. The coaches at Eastern allowed him to play both sports, so he became a colonel instead of a Wildcat.
A great story there. We talked about it last night. You said, hey, he gave a lot of guys a lot of opportunities.
And you see a lot of the kids, every kid on Eastern Kentucky team has the helmet stickers on. He provided a lot of hope. He gave and created a lot of opportunity for players to be able to not only excel in the game, but excel in life.
We just saw Coach Wells there. He got emotional talking to us about Coach Kidd and his impact when we talked to him during the course of the week. Back to action here at Kroger Field. Really no way to transition from that, but we'll try. Wildcats coming off a huge touchdown drive. 28-17 they lead. Parker McKinney gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the hat, and he starts with a pitch and catch to the tight end. Second catch of the game for Hunter Brown.
Hunter Brown just ran a simple route coming across the field. Kentucky defense is not playing well right now. They're busting coverages. That was another busted coverage. I don't know whether or not if it was the backer or someone in the secondary, but they are not doing the little things right. Communication is big, and that's what Coach Brad White talked about. Awareness on understanding what you prep for.
Here's Carter. So what does Eastern Kentucky have to do here, Takeo?
I would think Eastern Kentucky will continue the same game plan. When you look at the last 3 drives that they had against this Kentucky defense, 1 field goal, punt, and then ended the last drive with the touchdown. So it's going to come a point again to where Kentucky is going to blitz, and please believe McKinney is waiting to find the open man.
Hands to Carter as he moves the pile. Bringing up 3rd down.
And I think Eastern knows we don't necessarily, I don't think Eastern's personnel is built for no huddle, pushing the ball down the field. We have to take what they give us, and that's what you're seeing now. They're speeding up the tempo with the 3rd and 4 on the line.
Colonel 6 of 11 on 3rd down so far this afternoon. McKinney under pressure, and it gets to him. Check him out. Deion Walker, loss of 10.
You're talking about making an impact. Deion Walker was offside 2 times. Look at the hand movement in the inside. It's known across the SEC when this guy is playing full speed and he gets a hint of the play beforehand, he is unstoppable.
Coach White told us yesterday, not really reflected in the box score against Ball State, but boy, he had quite the impact and influenced a lot of the game. Had a pretty big influence there. Whistle is blown before
Timeout, Eastern Kentucky. First timeout of the half.
So the Colonels will talk it over. Deion Walker, of course, has something to say after that. 28-17, Kentucky leads. Well, quite the contrast between the first and second half for the Wildcats. Overall, they got 28 points and an 11-point lead. You see the penalties at the bottom of the screen. Cleaning that up was huge, Takeo.
Yeah, and that's the tale of the tape. That tells everything. We talk about self-inflicted wounds. but it's hard enough to get wins in collegiate play. But when you're doing things that's keeping you from winning, on top of playing the opponent, it's even harder.
Kicking it to Barion Brown will keep you from winning. Somehow they finally bottom him up. 40-yard punt. A very exciting 11-yard return.
That it was.
Slow to get up as he is hobbled heading to the sideline. And that's a risk you take by having such an exciting weapon back there returning kicks. Smile on his face as he talks it over with the head ball coach, Mark Stoops. 5:11 left. Kentucky taking control. Davis is the back, Leary in pistol formation. Running free, and a nice catch by Key. 16-yard gain.
You would think they would stay with the running game. They came out in 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, and clearly it could have said run, but they're still passing the ball with Devin Leary. Why? Because they want him to get the reps. He hasn't played since October of last year. This is his second opportunity to continue to knock the rust off, and it seems like now he's getting more into a rhythm by utilizing the play fake with the personnel and making completions.
They'll go back to the ground. And Davis, spinning across the 40, is finally thrown down by Jackson. 9-yard gain. Holding that left arm. He asks out of the game. Let's take another look.
We talk about the big blue wall, and also number 85, Jordan Dingle, with a great block that allowed Ray Davis to be able to get to that second level and get positive yards. Hopefully Ray Davis will be all right. Maybe a stinger or something, we don't know, but hopefully he should be okay.
Inside of 4 minutes, 2nd and 1 here in Lexington. Pete Souza with the Keogh Spikes. Wildcats have battled back to take control. McLean thrown down, short gain. Elijah Ford on the tackle. So it looks like, you can't speculate because that's another word for guessing. They might be looking at the wrist, but we can tell you that is a man who has 52 yards on 12 carries and also 36 yards and a touchdown on 3 catches.
He is the all-purpose back. Everywhere he's been, Temple, 1,000 yards. Vandy, 1,000 yards. And he was looking and still is looking to be that 1,000-yard rusher for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Play is stopped, flag just off your screen.
5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
And Coach Stoops talked yesterday about unity, and that is what he wanted from his team. In a world where you have NIL and you have the transfer portal, he wants everyone playing as a unit, as a team. That being said, you get into an SEC schedule, and you really have an opportunity to give yourself a shot at the next level when you get into the teeth, as you well know, of that in-conference SEC talent.
Yeah, and that's what you use these games for, to be able to do it. Eastern Kentucky coming with the zero blitz, and this is one of the things that I can truly say, looking at Devin Leary's game, he is quick to recognize when the defense is coming after him with the zero blitz. You saw what he did just then. As soon as he peeked his head up and saw, he went immediately to the outside, getting the completion to his receiver. And that's what you're supposed to do from a quarterback perspective.
And you like what you've seen from him today, especially, and you also got to like Dane Key as we see his numbers on the bottom of the screen. But back to Leary, you like it.
Yeah, he started off slow, didn't have a lot of touch on the ball early, but he's definitely finishing up strong in the second half, which is it's definitely much needed when you look at this Kentucky team.
Leary 9 of 12 in the second half.
Number 69, 5-yard penalty. It remains 1st down.
Now Kentucky really won going away last week against Ball State. An FCS opponent comes into town today. Is it possible? I mean, you've played on those monster, for a monster program like Auburn. Can you play down to your competition sometimes?
Yeah.
Forget about coaching. You go out there and players just play down to it.
Yeah, you do, because as we started this game, this is not a sellout, right? And then most times players feed off of the energy that the crowd gives. And then if you come out here sleepwalking, playing down to the level of competition, which they did today, they got hit in the mouth early and often up until the last quarter. So, you know, this Kentucky team, they got a lot of things to work on, especially before they get into SEC play.
We looked at each other on that first block punt when it seems like Cornelius Evans just basically took it off the foot of Wilson Berry, as we see spinning for a first down is Ramon Jefferson. It was a surprise from the start.
Yeah, it was. Nice run by Ramon Jefferson right there. He actually hid behind the offensive lineman and was able to scoot through, standing at the great height of 5'10". That's an advantage for him.
And that's a guy we're all pulling for. Jefferson injured his knee on the opening series of the season last year. On the comeback player of the year watch list, getting it done in a couple carries, 2 of them for 19 yards. Here he is again, over the left side, lost his footing on the new turf here at Kroger Field and is belted down by Frankie West.
And to me, it seems like as we continue to go through this game, Kentucky's offensive line is doing a good job of putting a hat on a hat, meaning a player on a player, and allowing their skill set of the guys who have the ball to do what they do best, whether or not if it's hide behind the offensive lineman or just outrun players to the edge and get the one-on-one matchup that Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator, loves doing. So they fought back hard this game.
So there's Mark Stoops. Has to like the fight in his team and the end result, but some stuff to improve. Final score as he embraces Walt Wells, his former assistant. The two are very good friends. Kentucky victorious today, 28-17. I want to ask you, Takeo Spikes, what's the one thing you think Kentucky needs to improve upon moving forward? You have Akron, and then you're into that SEC schedule. You start with Vanderbilt, and then it gets nasty.
It's attention to detail. And this is what we talked about in the opener. How do you develop identity? Well, that's something that cannot be developed in a 1 or 2 week time period. It takes consistency, and consistency of being on the same page, understanding when you get a certain call that comes into the game, everybody knows what to do. When you get a check as an audible throughout the game, everybody is on the same page, and then the awareness to be able to recognize certain formations that you went through throughout the week of practice and then executing with that audible. So those are some of the things that they have to make sure that they implement next week moving forward.
And we just saw the guy who's going to oversee all that. Final score, Kentucky 28, Eastern Kentucky 17. We'll take a quick break and come back with the final segment.